Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am doing a quick and easy makeup routine for you guys. This is what I typically love to do when I'm running out the door and I just need to do, quick makeup. It pretty much looks like I threw myself together and it looks like I spent like 30 minutes on this makeup or more, when really I only spent like 10 minutes. And the video is a little bit longer because obviously I'm explaining the products and I'm showing you guys, but typically this just takes me 10 minutes to do. And also the point of this video is it is a quick and easy makeup routine, but the purpose of it is to use products that pretty much do the work for you. So use full coverage concealers or foundations, and don't use anything where you have to spend too much time building up and blending, because then that wastes time. And so the purpose of the video is to do your makeup really quickly. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into my quick and easy makeup routine. For primer, I typically love to use the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Primer. I don't really like the hydrating one. I actually use that up. So the soft matte one I absolutely love because this one I find hydrates more for some reason, and at the same time it makes my foundation last a really long time. This one I put on when I pretty much want something that I know is going to work for me, and this primer is one of my absolute favorites. So I just pretty much put this all over the skin and look how easy it just goes on. It's pretty much like a moisturizer. For foundation, I typically like to go in with the Stay Naked by Urban Decay. This one is a great foundation because it's a medium coverage, but at the same time it lasts all day as well, and it looks really natural. And I love the shade of this. It almost matches me perfectly, and this is in the shade 20NN, which means neutral, and this just gives me a really nice matte finish. But because I have that primer underneath, it hydrates, so it's not going to leave me looking too dry or feeling dry. When I'm rushing out the door, I typically don't like to spend a lot of time on my eyes, so I really like to just perfect the skin and take a little bit more time on that. And then for the eyes, I'll just go in with something super easy. So for my concealer, I'm actually going to use one that I absolutely love, and this is the one that I typically use on a day-to-day basis anyway, and this is the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Concealer. It's the Hydrate line, and let me tell you, it really hydrates under the eyes. It has hyaluronic acid as well, which is a great ingredient for plumping the skin and hydrating. Everything I'm using today is basically doing the work for me. I'm using products that have the coverage, so I don't need to keep on layering or anything like that. So as you can see, my base is pretty much looking amazing already. Then I go in with a powder that I absolutely know and love, and that is the Laura Mercier translucent powder, one that probably all of you guys own in your collection. Push that into the skin and set that concealer. Then I take whatever's left and then just pretty much press it into the skin to set the rest of that foundation. Usually I do a matte contour, and then after that I do a shimmery bronzer to give myself a little bit of a warmth and glow. But when I'm in a rush, I don't have the time to be using two products, so I actually just use this product, which I absolutely love. And this is the MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in Global Glow. And it's basically a bronzer, but it has a shimmer to it as well. So it's 2-in-1. You're going to see now it is heavily pigmented, and I just go like this and it's done. I mean, like, my cheeks have color to them. This just takes up so little of your time, and you don't have to worry about sitting there and blending your contour and like trying to contour with many different products. This product just instantly adds warmth and is super pigmented, so you don't even have to do too much work. Then I take a little bit on the tip of my nose, on the sides, but I don't contour, I just add like a little bit of a bronze. If it's too much, you can just go over it with your sponge, and the sponge already has a little bit of a powder. And then for blusher, I go in with the BH Cosmetics Blushing in Bali palette. Now when it comes to doing your makeup really quickly, you want to go for a palette that has a blush and highlight or contour all in one, because it's just going to make your life super easy. So this one is actually breaking, but what I like to do is go into these two blushes, I just mix them, and then actually mix the highlighters as well. So it makes my life super easy because I'm not digging around and looking for products. So I take a little bit of lychee and coral, and of course it takes me less time, but because I'm explaining everything to you guys, maybe that's why the video is going to be a little bit longer than 10 minutes, or maybe if I can edit it to be less than 10 minutes. And then, like I said, I take a little bit of these two highlighter shades and then just add that to the cheeks. I just think BH Cosmetics is just one of the great drugstore affordable brands out there. It's not really drugstore, but one of the affordable brands out there. For brows, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel. This one is in dark brown. And I don't fill in my brows with a pencil because, as you can see, my brows are defined and full already. But I do love to give them a little bit of a tint of colour and just to kind of even them out and, you know, add a little bit of something to them. So I go in with this with a light hand, and this just neatens up the hairs and neatens up the brows. And I love this brow gel because it's not one of those brow gels that have like a ton of product on it. It's almost quite dry, which I really like because then you get more control over it and you can build and build and build it up to however you like. I mean, look how nice this looks. And the colour's perfect. Now moving on to eyes, I just take my sponge usually and I just go over my eyelids, and as you can see, whatever's left on here, it just cancels out any redness. And then I typically like to go in with my eyeshadow palette after. So the one that I have been using for years and years and years and always reach for because I just think it's the perfect palette that everyone should own is the Violet Voss Holy Grail eyeshadow palette. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time, and not only is it because of the color combination and choice, but it's actually because of the formula. I think these are one of the best eyeshadow formulas that you will ever find. Let's just go straight into this shade, which is called Transition, and as you can see, it is a transition shade, and I just like to buff this into the crease. This is a very soft brown colour, and I think they really perfect their mattes well in this palette. Going in with a different brush, I'm taking Bestie, which is the same sort of shade, but it's just slightly darker and a little more warmer. And I'm just applying this just below the transition shade. And this is the E.L.F. Fluffy blender brush. So I pretty much leave it at that. I don't do a whole lot of blending. As you can see, it's like super easy anyway. These sorts of colors, you don't really need to take your time blending. The lid shade I usually use is called Floof, which is this really pale pink. And I love this because it's super pigmented and shimmery, and it just does something to the eyes. It makes you look like you put a lot of effort into your eyes when you didn't. So I'm only using Floof on the eyelid, and that is pretty much it. I also take Crystal, which is a light champagne, and I just pop that in the inner corner. I typically use my NYX Epic Ink liner or my MAC eyeliner, but I want to switch up for you guys today. So I'm using the E.L.F. Precision liquid eyeliner, which is one of those ones that look like this. A little bit of that and do a really quick wing. And for mascara, I've been absolutely loving the E.L.F. Mineral Infused Mascara lately. And this one is such a great one. The ingredients are great to this. It just coats your lashes really nicely, lengthens them. And then for the lower lash line, I go into Are You Kidding Me, which is a bit of a darker brown. I typically like to go a little bit darker on the lower lash line because it just gives me a really nice sultry, smoky look. And then depending how I feel that day, I'll just switch out my lips. Either I'll do a nude or a bright colour or anything like that. Typically it is usually a nude. I'm going to actually use this combo because I have been using this combo lately and I've been absolutely loving it. And this is the Bare Minerals lipstick in Crush. I don't know if they still do this. I'm sure they do, but I recently rediscovered this in my collection and I love it. And then one gloss that I absolutely love is the Dose of Colours lip gloss in Bellini. And it's like a really nice peach gloss and it has some gold shimmer to it, and this is a glossy lipstick as well. This color is just to die for. I mean, that is like spring in a lipstick, right? Look at that. Oh my gosh. The gold shimmer's coming through. And then last but not least, I go in with my Smashbox Primer Water, or typically any setting spray, but I've been loving this one lately. So I'm going to be using that, and it's a great one because it really sets your makeup in place, and it's going to ensure that it lasts all day. And the reason I cover my eyes is because I don't want my mascara to run. So I hope you guys enjoyed your time here, and let me know down below how long it takes you to do your makeup when you're rushing, when you're running out the door. I know sometimes it takes people 15 minutes, sometimes it takes people 5 minutes. But that is it from me, and I hope you guys really liked the video. So of course, as usual, give it a thumbs up if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, I'll see you guys all in my next video.